Imagine a bustling ramen shop in Japan. Steam billows. Aromas tantalize. The air is thick with the scent of rich broth, tender noodles, and savory toppings. It's a sensory overload in the best possible way. But the real showstopper, the symphony of slurping. Each slurp is a note in a harmonious melody, a sign of respect and enjoyment. It's a chorus of appreciation, a testament to the deliciousness of this Japanese staple. The louder the slurp, the greater the compliment to the chef. But what happens when you hit the mute button on this culinary orchestra? The atmosphere changes, the energy shifts. Enter the Silent Ramen Challenge, a test of willpower and restraint, where the goal is to enjoy your meal in complete silence. This intriguing challenge turns the tables on traditional ramen etiquette. It forces you to savor each bite without the usual auditory feedback. It asks a simple yet daunting question. Can you conquer a bowl of ramen without making a single sound? It's harder than it sounds. The very thought sent shivers down my spine. The challenge is not just about eating. It's about control and mindfulness. As someone who appreciates a good slurp, I knew this would be a test of my mettle, my manners, and my love for all things ramen. Would I be able to enjoy it as much without the symphony of slurps? Only time would tell. The rules of the Silent Ramen Challenge are deceptively simple, much like the elegance of a perfectly crafted haiku. First and foremost, slurping is strictly verboten. That satisfying, almost primal sound of noodles being vacuumed into your mouth? Off the table. Next, chopstick calamities are a no-go. No clicking, no clacking, no accidental dropping of bamboo on ceramic. Your chopsticks must move with the grace and precision of a Shaolin master. Finally, and perhaps most cruelly, no sipping the broth. That soul-warming, umami-rich elixir. You must resist its siren song, at least audibly. Gulp at your own peril, my friend. My quest for silent noodle nirvana took me to a legendary ramen shop in the back streets of Kyoto. This wasn't just any ramen shop. It was a place whispered about in hushed tones by those in the know. A hidden gem that promised an unforgettable culinary experience. It was one of those places that seemed untouched by time, with a worn wooden counter and an air of quiet culinary mastery. The walls, adorned with faded photographs and calligraphy, told stories of decades past, of ramen bowls served with love and precision. The aroma alone was intoxicating, a heady blend of pork broth, soy sauce, and just a hint of mischief. It was as if the very essence of the ramen was teasing my senses, promising a taste that would linger in my memory long after the last noodle was slurped. I took my place at the counter, feeling the weight of expectation. The chef, a master of his craft, moved with a grace and precision that spoke of years of dedication. Every movement was deliberate, every action purposeful. Around me, seasoned ramen enthusiasts were engaged in their own slurp-tastic symphonies, oblivious to the silent battle I was about to wage. Each slurp, each satisfied sigh, was a testament to the ramen's unparalleled quality. I ordered the house special, a tonkotsu ramen with all the trimmings, and took a deep breath. Let the games begin. The bowl arrived steaming and fragrant, a masterpiece of culinary art. I knew that this was more than just a meal. It was an experience, a journey into the heart of ramen culture. The bowl arrived, a steaming testament to Japanese culinary artistry. Noodles glistened invitingly beneath a pool of fragrant broth, Slices of tender pork belly beckoned. My stomach rumbled with anticipation, but I steeled myself. This was no time for gastronomic indulgence. This was war. Carefully, I lifted a clump of noodles with my chopsticks, focusing on every movement. They felt heavier than usual, laden with the burden of silence. I brought them towards my mouth, inch by agonizing inch. My inner monologue was a cacophony of doubt. Don't slurp. Don't you dare slurp. Oh, but it's so tempting. Noodle nightmare. Getting the noodles past my lips without slurping proved to be a Herculean task. I tried the bite and suck method, which resulted in a series of awkward, muffled chomping sounds. I attempted the gentle slide, but the noodles, as if conspiring against me, insisted on slapping against my chin. With each passing moment, I felt the gaze of the chef intensify. He watched from behind the counter, his expression unreadable. Was it amusement, pity, or perhaps the quiet judgment of 1,000 ramen masters before him? Broth busters. If the noodles were a formidable foe, then the broth was an outright nemesis. Each sip was a challenge, a test of endurance and skill. The broth was rich, complex, and deceptively simple. It demanded respect and attention. Each spoonful was a test of my willpower. I tried to employ a sophisticated sipping spoon technique, hoping to master the art of broth consumption. But the broth had other plans. It splashed back into the bowl with a resounding plunk, defying my every attempt to savor it gracefully. The sound echoed through the silent tension of the ramen shop, drawing the attention of everyone around me. By this point, I was sweating, my face flushed, my dignity slowly unraveling like a loose thread on a kimono. The other patrons, initially oblivious to my plight, were now stealing glances in my direction. Some stifled laughter, while others shook their heads in a mixture of amusement and bewilderment. I could feel their eyes on me, judging my every move. The pressure was immense, but I was determined to finish my bowl. With each sip, I grew more resolute. This broth, this nemesis, would not defeat me. The other people eating were, initially oblivious to my situation, were now stealing glances in my direction. Some tried hard not to laugh. Others, in a mixture of amusement and bewilderment, shook their heads. After all, it wasn't just about the broth. It was about the experience, the challenge, and the story I would tell. A chef's perspective. As I approached the bottom of the bowl, defeated but not broken, the chef approached my station. He looked down at me, his face a stoic mask. For a moment, I thought he was going to chastise me for my unorthodox eating habits. But then, a slow smile spread across his face. "You try very hard," he said in halting English. "But ramen, it is meant to be enjoyed. Slurping, it is a sign of respect. It shows the chef you like their food." The sound of satisfaction. His words were a revelation. It wasn't just about the taste of the ramen, but the entire sensory experience. The slurping wasn't rude. It was an integral part of the cultural tapestry, a way of expressing appreciation for the chef's artistry. With newfound liberation, I picked up my bowl and took a hearty slurp. The sound, once a source of anxiety, now resonated with a sense of joy and contentment. It was the sound of satisfaction, a culinary thank you note, delivered through the medium of noodles. A world of silent food challenges. The Silent Ramen challenge was a humbling, hilarious, and ultimately enlightening experience. It taught me that sometimes the most enjoyable way to experience a culture is to embrace its quirks, even if they seem a bit noisy at first. And it got me thinking, what other foods would be hilariously impossible to eat silently? Spaghetti, potato chips, soup dumplings? The possibilities, much like the world of ramen itself, are endless.